Pittsburgh. Still fighting the dreaded disease of cancer. We are underway. The Lady Eagles first. We'll take a look at their starting lineup. And you see Bree Sutton, the girl we highlighted. Golden Eagles get an early basket from 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝗻. And now UAB on offense for the first time. And we'll take a look at the Blazers starting five. Turnover, giving the ball right back to Southern Miss. And the Blazers starting five, Maddie Walsh looks to have a big day. Bree Sutton, we talked about her, tried to go inside and then a little too strong for Malia Grayson.
And the Lady Eagles, we talked about Bree Sutton, as you mentioned, but they're going to play inside out. Grayson is a phenomenal scorer around the basket. Today she's matched up with Tucker around the rim. The Lady Eagles, they're going to try to throw it to her from different angles. She's going to post and repost continuously, so the Blazers will have to be ready on the weak side for sure.
Walsh, back of the iron. Southern Miss has dropped 4 straight, but one of those was to Baylor, one of those was to Memphis. And they play all comers. See a drive and then a foul.
And not the easiest opening month of scheduling for the Lady Eagles. You know, tough games on the road, especially against Baylor, like Texas A&M. Those are tough teams to beat, especially you're starting out the season, trying to figure out your roles, figuring out who's going to be able to contribute where. And sometimes the scoring is the one thing that maybe takes a little more time.
Armistead, nice feed. Rain Tucker. Finish.
And that time Armstead playing alongside the baseline, keeping the dribble alive. Great vision. Armstead, such a heady point guard.
It's tough to stop Grayson from inside. This was a miss and then a foul on the rebound.
And this is 3 straight Lady Eagles possessions that they have looked inside for Grayson. She's going to seal and reseal as we see Armstead here with the dish. It's a tough matchup for Tucker for sure because they're going to go to her every single trip. She's going to touch it. Your best player has to touch the basketball, and they do a really good job of keeping her engaged in the game offensively.
Foul was called on Sutton. Weathersby makes her move. Grayson on the rebound. And then the finish. Good recovery by 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝗻, who has all 4 points for the Lady Eagles.
And Sutton, what's not going to show up in the box score is the box out there against Tucker that led to that transition opportunity for the Lady Eagles.
Long one for Sarah Bershears. Armstead might have pushed, not called, and then out of bounds off of Grayson.
See Grayson leading the break. Great pass. You want to solve your scoring problems, get some layups. Layups usually take care of it.
Like that. Off the glass.
Well, she's a tough cover for anybody. Constant movement. Looks to shoot the 3 as well as attack off the dribble.
A veteran point guard Sutton. Grayson tied up by 2 Blazers. That's a jump. Good defense on Malia Grayson by UAB.
And that's really good recognition there from Weathersby coming over on the weak side and Tucker there as well. Whoever has to guard Grayson, they're going to have their hands full because they're going to have to be able to play consistent defense without fouling. They're going to throw it to her every single trip down the court.
Long jumper, no good. UAB not finding the range early from outside.
Now we see Sutton look into Grayson. Grayson elected not to post.
So the lob, and it gets over the defense, and Grayson finishes.
And that is a great set play, and that's probably why Grayson didn't ask for it initially. She knew that baseline cutter was going to go, so she'd have no help on the weak side if she was just to wait and seal Tucker there.
Walsh with a 3 ball to put UAB out in front. Their 12th three of the year. Trinity Rowe. Shot clock at 3, whistle. Foul on UAB. See the lob inside.
Great entry pass, and there's no weak side help. Grayson able to seal a defender off. See the Blazers connect on their first three-point field goal of the morning.
Good call there. I know what you were trying to do. In the good but you're right. 12 o'clock is usually the afternoon, but we're Central Time here at 11 and change.
Still AM for me.
Alarm went off early today. It's the interim head coach, at least for today. We'll get back to that story. Sutton with a couple of free throws. You got to look at Brooks Donald Williams. That will be Southern Miss basketball.
And that was a tough post feed there from about 25 feet away. That time Tucker not quite able to corral it. But if you're the Blazers, you have to figure out a way to force Grayson to guard on this end as well, because you know she's going to continue to attack offensively. They're going to make her the focal point of their offensive attack. You've got to find ways to make scorers, make them play both ends of the court.
Walsh chasing after Sutton. Rowe, guarded by Armstead. Wow, she ran into a big elbow. I think I lost a tooth there.
And that time Grayson's a physical player. That time getting ready to set the ball screen here. See Armstead showing her toughness early today. Grayson moving just so slightly, getting the call for the illegal screen. And after UAB going inside with no Grayson is probably the look. You see Tucker here with the inside advantage over Evans.
The sheer shot was deflected. Sutton, nice pass.
And if you're Evans, you have to shoot that basketball. Great find from Tucker there. Tucker able to penetrate and get inside the paint.
Travel called on Armstead. And that should get us to media timeout, and it will. 4:51 remaining. Opening quarter. Lady Eagles, 71st meeting, lead the Blazers by 1 point. We'll be back from Bartow after this timeout.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Did you see this? Tours are going to be up to 50% off for Cyber Monday. Santa's going to need a bigger sleigh.
Yeah, I am. I mean, he is. That's not my car. I don't even know where I parked.
Get up to 50% off toys and more, only at Target.
Y'all, at Wayfair, there are no rules when it comes to style.
Time out. We can take our own gifts home?
Yes!
Because I'm about to be big game ready.
This happens every year.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I grew wiser. I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
This season, ESPN Plus has hundreds of games across 20 conferences. That's more action, more touchdowns, more college football. Streaming now.
All right, that girl on the right, Brooks Donald Williams. This is her first year with the program. She is filling in for the legendary Joy Lee McNellis, who is back in Hattiesburg. Joy Lee continues to fight her battle with cancer, one of the all-time winningest coaches in all of women's college basketball, just an absolute legend in the game. Some respiratory problems for this trip, so she decided to stay home. Now, Brooks Donald Williams was a head coach at Louisiana Monroe. There's Randy Norton on the other side, and you see that 199. If he can get a win today, it'll be his 200th at UAB. A three ball from the wing goes in. Nyla Jean has had a good first quarter.
Jean finding her offensive rhythm here today. So you see a block there, charge attempt. And that's a pretty good try right there from Rowe on the charge attempt. There we see Jean up to the dribble handoff, feet set, square to the basket. And again, offensively, it only takes a couple baskets, a couple times to see that ball go through the hoop. That gets your confidence going. And for Southern Miss, you've got to wonder who's going to do the scoring now that Grayson is out. And Jean has done a really good job so far this first quarter.
Armstead finds Tracy Bershears. Armstead always looking to pass first. Ely, step back three, got it.
And that's a great example of UAB turning down a couple of open shots to get a really, really good shot. Great patience. Typically after ball penetration and a kick out, someone usually forces a shot that time. Ely, great patience there. Shot fake, step to an open space.
Sieper who put the ball on the floor. Southern Miss comes away with 6 seconds to shoot. Good block, that's clean. And out of bounds off of Southern Miss.
And Weathersby there able to contain the dribble penetration from Sutton. Also the length allows her to get the block, and it goes right off of Sutton's shoulder. Southern Miss to the zone. We've seen Southern Miss over the course of this early season. They've been very, very open to the idea of allowing outside shots from their opponents.
Ely thought she was going to try that step back three again. There's Tracy Bershears, bingo. With her family to our right.
And Bershears coming in, knocking down the three, doing what she does best. UAB showed great patience, moving the ball side to side against the zone. And typically, if you can make outside jump shots, that makes the zone a lot less effective.
Siepers. Long one from Morgan Sieper, I should say. No S at the end. Moffitt for UAB. Blazers trying to turn offense in from defense. Swish.
That time where I don't know if she had to move 2 feet. She stood right there for about 7 seconds as Southern Miss passed her by. She was able to knock down the wide open three. Southern Miss, they have struggled mightily with no Grayson. Grayson, sometimes she's not going to score it every time, but just touching it makes the offense more effective. You see Sieper here with the elbow jump shot.
That breaks the mini run by UAB. Blazers lead by 3. Armstead, contact with Jean. Tracy from the wing. Tracy from the other wing. By the way, there are 3 𝗿𝗲𝗱𝘆 girls here, 2 in uniform and 1 that will be in a Minnesota uniform next year. The youngest of the 3, Zoe, sitting to our right, committed to Minnesota. Sarah is the oldest. Tracy right there in the middle. And then Zoe, good pass inside, then goes back out. And a 3, yes.
Now we're seeing the Blazers do what they do best. Create three-point shot opportunities with dribble penetration, with inside touches, with quick movements of the basketball.
Inside out, a quick timeout call by Southern Miss. They'll keep things here. A 6-point lead for UAB as the outside shooting of Alicia Carter gives the Blazers 3 more. UAB picked up their offense by picking up their defense, Mo.
You know what? If you can create some opportunities in transition, and for the Blazers, it's a little different than most teams because you think transition, you think layups, you think fast break dunks or, around the rim. But the Blazers look for transition threes. Like, they're pushing the basketball, hoping to catch you in a scramble, hoping to catch you on a late closeout so they can get an open three-point shot. They mentioned in the open, we mentioned they make over 8 threes per game.
They got 5 here in the first quarter. 5 made three-pointers. In fact, 5 of their 7 field goals have been three-pointers, and that's a great point you make. Transition usually means layup, but for UAB, transition means 3. And you coach and you play with what you have. There's a baseline jump shot. Jemiah Evans.
Jemiah Evans catching the ball on the block, squaring up, facing the basket. Not the inside post presence that Grayson is, but playing to her strengths there. An inside touch for Southern Miss. Great offensive possession.
Tracy 𝗿𝗍𝗱🆰 hits the cutter. Unselfish ball movement there. Desiree Ware gets in the scoring column. Randy Norton using a deep bench here in this first quarter. Trinity Rowe, 8 to shoot, long one. A little bit more time. Ely.
And that's pretty good D from Evans there, forcing Ely to bobble that basketball because UAB looked to go and attack quickly. You could tell 𝗿𝗍𝗱🆰 was trying to line up a 3-ball there. You're on the roll.
Armstead intended for Tracy 𝗿𝗍𝗱🆰. This is Sutton. Southern Miss looking for that outside shot. It's Sieper for 2, yes.
And that time Southern Miss got extremely lucky that time. I thought Sutton had a chance to attack the rim and get to the basket. Elected not to, but for Southern Miss, great first half without their best scorer for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
The fact that the Golden Eagles, or Lady Eagles rather, have pretty much had their way, winning 6 out of every 10. Rain Tucker. See, Grayson is back in, Mo. 45, playing defense. Tucker spins. Weathersby keeps the possession alive. Sarah for 3. Got it.
That time Weathersby active on the offensive glass, creating another scoring opportunity for the Blazers. And that time Tucker didn't score here, but just her activity against Grayson forces Grayson to spend a little energy on the defensive end.
Agree. And you just need a bigger body. Whatever that body does, you can't forecast. An open 3 turned down. And then Tucker did a nice job keeping her hand straight up. And UAB turning this into a lead because of their defense.
And Tucker on the inside, able to come over and help and stay vertical. But as you can see, Grayson was surrounded by Blazers. UAB not giving Southern Miss a chance to lob over the top. Weak side help. You saw them get burned early in the game with the lob over the top for Grayson. That time, Blazers surrounding her. She is the difference maker offensively for the Lady Eagles.
Malia Grayson, 6'3", now in her 5th year. That's her parked underneath. banging with Rain Tucker. This one goes outside. Armstead, 3. Walsh, yes.
That's nice right there. Inside, outside, left to right. Journey Armstead recognizing the shooter opposite. Opposite is typically open. Great ball movement from the Blazers.
10-point lead for UAB. Down low, Grayson. Grayson, nice turnaround, and the bank is open on a Sunday. That's a beautiful shot.
And if you're Tucker, that's all you can do. You want to make her take a contested shot and make her play on this end.
Rowe. Jean comes up empty.
And Walsh is out in front.
Walsh, Sarah for 3, no. Rear miss by the Brashears sisters today. That's Sieper, and she has 3 points.
Sieper starting to find her offense here in this first half.
Tucker rolls one in.
Grayson that time having to go over for the dribble penetration. UAB doing a good job of forcing her to do something defensively, even if it's not necessarily one-on-one defense, putting her in positions where she has to help.
Cooper, the lefty shot is in. Makai Cooper. Armstead. Little jab step didn't go. Lady Eagles down by 5. Jean. Here's Sieper for 3. No.
UAB very fortunate there. Grayson had inside position for the offensive rebound. It just bounced a little bit too high. Because if she catches it, it's an easy putback. And here Brashears will have to contend with Grayson around the paint.
Sieper, guarded by Sarah Brashears, gets the screen. Grayson sets the screen. And Grayson, had it stripped by Armstead. Here comes Journey. Weathersby wants 3. Tracy got hammered by Grayson. So Tracy Brashears will head to the free throw line. Foul on Malia Grayson. It's her second. Let's see if she comes out. As you could see, there's a different flow. She does come out, Mo. There's a different flow when she's in and when she's out. That's her second foul.
And now with no Grayson and Sieper on the floor for Southern Miss, who do you look to carry the load offensively? 6 minutes here to go in the second quarter. Grayson has 2 fouls. We've seen Jean score the basketball well so far this morning. That's so weird to say, isn't it? Jean only averages right at about 9 points per game, and she's already at 7.
7 points in the first half for Tracy Brashears. So let's see where the Lady Eagles find their offense. Nyla Jean. All movement. Deflected. It's Ava Shields who had her shot deflected. Walsh for 3, long range. That helps when you got Weathersby to rebound, although her pass was stolen by Jean.
And Weathersby, she does what every coach teaches you. Do not assume a make, even though she knows her teammates shoot the basketball extremely well, especially here at home. She does not assume that ball's going in. She puts herself in great position to keep possessions alive by attacking the offensive glass.
Missed by Jemiah Evans. Armstead with the shifting of the gears. Tracy 𝗿𝗏𝗍𝗆, swish!
And all of that is because Armstead refuses to walk the basketball up the court. She pushes the basketball and attacks even when nothing is actually there. Just her being aggressive creates opportunities for what I would call miniature penetration.
Long one coming up from Ava Shields that answers the 𝗿𝗏𝗍𝗆's three.
And the Blazers defensively have elected to go underneath the ball screens. And the Lady Eagles have taken some shots there. That time she was able to get one to go.
That's Sarah. And one opportunity. I don't usually go with first names, but when you have sisters on the floor. Sarah with the athletic finish. We got a timeout with 4:20 remaining until halftime. UAB by 8, and the Blazers also will be at the free throw line when Mo and I return on this first day of December here in Birmingham.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you see this? Toys are going to be up to 50% off for Cyber Monday. Santa's going to need a bigger sleigh.
Yeah, I am. I mean, he is. That's not my car. I don't even know where I parked.
Get up to 50% off toys and more, only at Target.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I grew wiser. I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
TJ. JJ. JJ.
Lateral races. Brutal.
TJ. TJ.
It's time to play offense. Turn it up. Whoa, let's cool it, you two.
Mom.
2 elite conferences loaded with talent on the spotlight.
Let's go!
Which side will shine the brightest?
Are you not entertained?
And whose legend will grow?
Spectacular!
The SEC-ACC Challenge, next Thursday on ESPN.
UAB shooting 62% from outside, 8 out of 13. Thus, an 8-point lead. That's Tracy 𝗿𝗏𝗍𝗆. You see the T. S for Sarah. And then Zoe is about 8 feet from us to our right with her mom. Mike, you've met Mike before. Mike is back in Arkansas. There's Sarah. UAB struggling early this season at the line where they have typically been good. They're only at 62%, so leaving a couple of points at the line. Medium range jump shot. 𝗿𝗏𝗆𝗆's had a nice first half, 9 points.
She's doing all the heavy lifting offensively. Grayson only 4 points so far this first half. Only 3 shot attempts. She's touched it a bunch, but has not been able to get going offensively.
Nice pass journey. Armstead gets over to Molly Moffitt, but Moffitt missed the bunny. And Southern Miss survives.
Armstead's so difficult to contain off the dribble. That time Moffitt, she'll see that one in film tomorrow. She'll be pretty upset that she blew that easy layup.
Well, that would have been a big one for Southern Miss, get them even closer, but they're down by 6. UAB in possession. Corner 3. Three minutes remaining in the half. And that one comes in and out.
And those are the opportunities you've got to be able to take advantage of if you're Southern Miss. That time they catch a break. Because Bashir was not paying attention, did not expect the basketball that time. But as I mentioned, Southern Miss, you've got to take advantage of those open threes like Gene just missed. It's a catch and shoot three. It's a clean look. You have to find a way to knock it in. But the layup right there from 𝘂𝗲, you have to also be able to cash in on those because there's going to be so few and far between.
Gene. Looks like offensive called against the Lady Eagles.
So you factor in a couple of open shots that you don't make, and then you call, and then also with the turnover, an attempt that you don't get to take. And it's very, very easy to see, like maybe these are problems that have been contributing to the scoring woes. Got to make open ones, and you can't have unforced turnovers.
Foul was on 𝘂𝗲. Ely with an open 3.
Good box out from 𝗀𝗏.
Yes. Both going for it. 𝗀𝗏 had the angle. Gene cut off by Armstead, but scores anyway. Little step back. Averaging just under 10. She's at 11 so far.
And that's the 10-point in the paint for the Eagles. Southern Miss that time. Will they get the foul call? Yes, they will.
Yeah. On
Gene doing it on both ends of the court.
Should be on Armstead.
Yeah, Gene, just a little nudge, just enough of a bump. Going full speed to her right to create a little separation there. Raising up for the clean look.
The UAB has done a lot of good things in this half, but they only lead by 4. And no matter what you do, you always have to look at the scoreboard because that's what counts.
And they've done a great job. UAB, they have made a ton of threes. You got to give Southern Miss a ton of credit. They've been able to stay close. They've weathered that storm.
Well, the turnover. So that's been mounting. That's the 7th for UAB.
And both of these teams turn the ball over a little more than 15 times per game. UAB, as you mentioned, their 7th turnover. And we've seen a influx of turnovers over the past couple of minutes from the Blazers.
Trinity 𝗀𝗏, and unguarded was Jemiah Evans. And Randy Norton takes a timeout. We'll keep things here. So now you only have a 2-point game near the break. And again, you look at UAB shooting well from outside. UAB leading the rebounding margin, getting balanced scoring, but yet all of that adds up to just a 2-point lead. I think the turnovers and the points leading to turnovers, Southern Miss has just hung in there, haven't they?
They've done a really good job of just staying calm and staying close. You're on the road. You struggle so far this season offensively. They're not forcing the issue on the offensive end. They're taking essentially good shots. They haven't taken a ton of challenge shots, bad shots, quick shots. When Grayson's not in, they don't have a true inside presence. But Evans, she adds a different dynamic defensively and offensively because she moves so well. She's able to stretch the defense in a different way. So she's come in and gave some quality minutes off the bench for the Lady Eagles.
Under a minute before halftime, there's an open shot. Jade Weathersby, her first 2 points.
That's a great set from UAB out of the timeout.
Lead to 4. 𝘂𝗲 cut off by Weathersby. Plenty of time for Southern Miss. 13 to shoot. 𝗀𝗏 makes her move. Got deflected again. Very active first half defensively for Jade Weathersby. Interestingly, Mo, she hasn't scored a whole lot. She only had 2 in her last game. She has 2 so far today, but the defense and the rebounding is there. And UAB up by 4. One last shot here. Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 10 and moving. Let's see what Armstead has. Gets the pick. Open three. Tracy, that got deflected. And that will end the half. And so UAB will take the lead into the break, but not by much. UAB 30. 6 rebounds for Weathersby. And here come the Lady Eagles. And by the way, they've asked us that to call them the Lady Eagles, not the Golden Eagles. The men will be the Golden Eagles, but they are the Southern Miss Lady Eagles. And they are only down by 4. Third quarter is underway.
UAB with the zone look. This eliminates some of the high-low action that Grayson sees, but doesn't bother her one bit. Catches it in the short corner and shoots right over the top of 2 Blazer defenders.
6 for Grayson. Makes this a 2-point, 1-possession game, third quarter.
I think if you're UAB, you have to figure out a way to make Grayson be the aggressor defensively here. She has 2 fouls already. Don't allow her to relax on the defensive end. Put some pressure on her, force her to come out and guard people off the bounce with pick and roll action. Something to make her work a little bit on the defensive end.
See Grayson setting a screen. And that's off the hands. That was maybe UAB's best defensive set. Just not allowing a good look. And then with 6 seconds, it cuts off of the hands of Malia Grayson. So the Blazers up by 4 and in possession. So half-court pressure. Wide open for a moment. Now, let me get back to that possession. Would you have preferred Weathersby to take the ball to the hole that time? I hear Sieper for 3. No. She had an opportunity to make a step and make a move, and maybe that's what's just missing is having those and one opportunities.
Well, I think UAB on that previous possession turned down a couple of opportunities to take jump shots. You know, you work the basketball side to side, you go inside out. In the first half, we saw them take shots early in the clock that time. Almost a little bit too patient. And the same for Southern Miss. The turnover previously with Grayson on the block, you essentially dribbled out the clock, forced you to make a perfect pass. Even if she catches it, not a lot of time to operate. I think sometimes earlier is better. You know, there's no reason to wait.
Grayson, and she will get fouled by Weathersby.
And the recipe for Southern Miss seems to be the same. They started the game off feeding the ball inside, trying to get Grayson touches, letting her touch it every time. In the second half, we've seen exactly the same thing. That time, Weathersby comes over to help a little bit and gets called for the foul. But for me, that's why it's so important to make Grayson play defense. Don't allow her to get rest on the defensive end. Put her in some situations that forces her to expend some energy, forces her to make some decisions whether she's going to contest or foul. And that way it makes it a little easier for you on the offensive end, or for you on the defensive end, because now she has to be a little more reserved. She can't exert herself so much offensively, fighting for position and looking for opportunities to attack if she's having to spend some energy on the other end of the floor. Nice touch.
Hits a pair. She has 8. And again, a 2-point lead for UAB.
And here Weathersby has the advantage here with Jean on the ball side. That time Jean able to front her. And Tucker's going to get called maybe for the push. Oh, wow. And Nyla Jean gets called for the foul there.
You know, I was thinking the same thing you were. I was expecting the call on 0 and White, Tucker.
And Jean, she went just right to the official to ask what did she do. She was looking to get some clarity.
Armstead, Tucker. Nice feed from Weathersby, Tucker.
And that's a good job by Weathersby, attacking baseline, forcing Grayson to help. I think Grayson's the key. She's the key defensively as well. If you can pull away from the basket, it causes her to have to move a little bit. Also create some driving lanes. That time Weathersby able to feed Tucker for an easy layup. But that doesn't happen if Grayson doesn't help.
Jean. Sutton turns down a 3. Goes in for the 2.
That time Sutton, good decision, turning down the 3. That time Brashear's electing to help and continue to front with Grayson. Allowed Sutton an opportunity to drive that basketball. That's good hustle from Tucker. They're coming from across court even to make that close. As we see here, Sutton on the drive. She just doesn't quite have an angle. Does a great job of using the left hand. She's been quiet. I expected her to take more offensive responsibility, you know, as a senior, especially as we mentioned, only playing in 6 games last season. Want to try to come out and make up for lost time. Here's a transition opportunity here for the Blazers.
Weathersby. This is for the tie. And that will be Lady Eagles ball.
That time she's just a little short with it. Oh, yeah, that's the right call.
Jean. Grayson mid-range. So the Lady Eagles had a chance to tie 2 straight possessions. Walsh feeds Sarah Brashears.
The Blazers finally were able to get what they've been looking for, an early 3-point opportunity. Inside. And that time Jean elected not to pass it. I guess she saw the help. But that's the ball that Grayson should touch there for sure. Did a great job of posting, getting Tucker on her back. Jean elected not to throw it inside.
Armstead's going to pick up a block foul. Her second. Tracy Brashears is coming in. Rain Tucker is heading to the bench. Nyla Jean. Too hard. Second chance row, then right to Armstead. Watch Armstead in the open floor. Sarah, 3.
Sarah sprinting the floor, running to her spot, following the basketball, being in perfect position, recognizing that Weathersby's going to have an opportunity for one-on-one. Weathersby kicks it back out for her for an easy catch-and-shoot 3.
Foul on reception by Malia Grayson. So UAB warming up. There's Sarah Brashears. UAB 47, Southern Miss 39. 3 ball good. 3 ball bueno. Back in a moment.
Insert your card when you're ready. I think he took it out just a little fast. Reinsert it and wait till it beeps. Oh,
You said wait for the beep.
there are 2 beeps. There's a beep, and then you're gonna wait for a beep. You hear the difference?
No.
Take it out and reinsert it.
Okay.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
While I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you see this? Toys are going to be up to 50% off for Cyber Monday. Santa's going to need a bigger sleigh.
Yeah, I am. I mean, he is. That's not my car. I don't even know where I parked.
Get up to 50% off toys and more, only at Target.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And to handle extremes?
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Yeah.
Really?
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 Really. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
You'd love to propose to her. In fact, everywhere you look, you see rings with dazzling diamonds. Well, if you don't want to drain your savings on the perfect diamond ring, visit GageDiamonds.com for simple, no credit needed financing. Gage has natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and moissanites, so you can stop seeing rings. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagement's middle name.
We're all wondering what's in the box. Coming up next is Middle Tennessee versus UAB, and that is preseason All-American 𝗀𝗄𝗱𝗆. What is in there, Yaks? Open it up. Is that a cheeseburger? Some chicken fingers?
This close to game time? I don't know. You know what? Maybe. He's a 22-year-old, 23-year-old guy can handle some stuff prior to a game that you or I may not be able to.
He's also 9 to 10 inches bigger and 50 pounds heavier. And I think that his system can handle whatever that is. Gene, no good for 3. But anyways, you know what? The bottom line is Yaks can eat whatever he wants. He will try to lead the Blazers to a win over Middle Tennessee later on. See, there is Armstead going to the rim and getting the opportunity to.
And she forces the issue here. Initially, a pretty good defense from Sutton, but that doesn't deter her. She backs it back out, gets another little head of steam, and pushes the basketball right past her. Loves to go left, left-handed player.
When we get into conference play, that'll obviously be so scouted, the fact that she's a left-hander, and you'll see defensive alignments to try to cut that side off.
Yeah, well, I would think they would already be pretty,
you would think,
familiar with, the tendencies of every player. But some things, here's the thing, Michael Jordan, teams knew where he was going, just not always able to stop it. So she has that unique ability to force the issue and continue, even when they know she's driving left, even if they know she's pushing after a make or miss, she can just get to her spots.
Now, MJ was also on a different level that he would tell
everyone
you
on earth, yeah,
where he's going, and you still couldn't stop him. Sieper. That's good. That's Samantha Shanks. 3 big points needed for the Lady Eagles.
Shanks and the Lady Eagles still hanging around, 6-point game, even though so far third quarter they have not played well offensively. They've struggled a little bit. Been stagnant at that time. Great offensive set, great ball movement. And Shanks knocked down a contested 3-pointer.
UAB's best quarter was the first. They scored 21. That would have put them on that average to get over 80. And again, you mentioned that Southern Miss struggles to get to even 70. Sarah Brashear, she's in. Grayson got her hand on it.
And that Shanks right there doing a great job of containing the dribble. Did not allow her to turn the corner. Turned her right back into Grayson.
Jean follows her own miss. Just 13. Nyla Jean played her first 2 years at Georgia State. Off the hands of Walsh, but apparently got fouled.
So we see Jean getting into the paint.
Girls didn't box her out there, Mo.
She missed the easy one, got the tough one. Stuck with it. Great job from Jean. She's had a really great game today offensively. And she's done it off the dribble. She's done it off the catch and shoot. She's done it in a variety of ways. As mentioned, only averages 9 points, right under 9 points a game on the season. And today, 13 points. If she can continue to increase her offensive output each season, each week, each game, that's going to help Southern Miss for sure solve some of their offensive problems.
Tracy Bershers has her first 2 points of the half and now has 12 in the game. One more than Sarah. Southern Miss only makes 5 threes a game. They don't shoot a high percentage. That's an area when they get down. There's Walsh, good ball movement. When they get down, it's a little tougher to come back because they don't have the weaponry and the long-range distance that Randy Norton and company have.
And their pace is slower because of their inside presence with Grayson. They want to play through her. Like you mentioned, you don't have a lot of opportunities to score up-tempo, to play up-tempo and shoot threes if you're playing primarily inside out. And Southern Miss has done a great job of eliminating the transition three-point opportunities this half for UAB. The past 2 UAB possessions, they had chances to kick ahead and get a three. Southern Miss did a great job of getting back.
See Armstead getting the assist to Walsh.
That time Walsh catches the freshman Rose sleeping, just cuts right across her face.
Weathersby with 9 rebounds. That's a turnover, UAB.
Little miscommunication there. Walsh thought Moffitt was going to float to the open space. That time, an empty corner for Moffitt. Moffitt was electing to come to the basketball.
So Randy Norton, head coach for UAB. 1 win shy of 200 here at UAB. Nyla Jean having the game of her season.
And Nyla Jean, UAB has not been able to keep her out of the paint. She's had a couple of contested layups, a couple of open layups, easy putback. She's lived in the painted area today off the dribble.
Ely kept alive by Moffitt. There's one cutter. There's a screen. 6 to shoot for UAB. It's got to go up. It does. It goes in. The bank open for.
But I don't know if she was trying to bank it in that time.
No, she wasn't.
She shot that one totally out of necessity.
And Journey with a 3. That's her 3rd of the season.
And that time Rowe got away with a travel.
8 to shoot.
And that's a tough break there. Because here's the thing, Grayson is a physical player. I think any collision, anytime she sets a ball screen, especially against a point guard, smaller point, as we see Armstead here with the 3 ball. There's been 2 fouls called on Grayson. Both fouls, Armstead was on the receiving end. But I don't know that those aren't just good hard screens.
Well, one of them was.
Well, the first one was a little bit of movement. That one, I didn't get a clear view. But I don't know that that's not just a good hard screen. Just like that one.
Desiree Ware, or rather Alicia Carter at the break. Just missed. And that will conclude the 3rd quarter where the Blazers have a 55-46. 2018, he was the coach of the year in Conference USA. 3 straight years from 17 to 19, had 3 straight 20-win seasons. Now in his 36th overall year of coaching, and played both basketball and baseball at Iowa. Blazers in possession with the lead, a little give and go. Didn't work out the way they wanted to, but plenty of time. Tucker against Grayson. Tucker, yes.
Time Tucker, great patience, not allowing Grayson's initial defense to deter her. That time maintaining her balance and able to step away for the soft jump shot. Grayson, to her credit, did not foul.
Tucker now with 8.
Good D by Tucker on the switch with Jean.
And then a foul as Jemiah Evans was heading to the rack.
Interesting here, Evans. Evans is strong and versatile. This is the first time we've seen Evans and Grayson on the floor at the same time.
Foul was on Weathersby. Evans is a 73% free throw shooter. 6-foot junior from Gulfport, Mississippi. And she went 0 for 2.
Southern Miss caught another break that time. Weathersby not able to haul it in. Ball bounced right off of her foot.
Grayson, tough to stop in that paint. Little fadeaway and saved by Weathersby. I believe she gets a rebound.
Oh, absolutely. And
instead of a steal, yeah.
That's exactly why she did it.
Carter gets fouled. That's a nice job by Carter, just flinging it towards the rim after she got fouled. And that'll put Weathersby in double figures in rebounds.
That time Carter taking a page out of Journey Armstead's book, pushing the basketball, seeing an opportunity, open lane. That time Jean not quite able to cut her off. You hear that whistle, fling it toward the rim.
Elisha Carter. 4 points in the game. Redshirt freshman from Winter Garden, Florida. She has tied her career high with 5. She had 5 against Clemson.
It'll be interesting to see if Southern Miss tries to play a little faster in the half quarter, where they still try to operate through Grayson. Down 13 here with 8:35 left to go.
Jean. We're back to the free throw line.
That time Walsh not quite able to contain her off the bounce. And Jean, she has done such a great job off the dribble. She's extremely quick, creative off the dribble, off the bounce, able to get to the paint. That time steps into Walsh a little bit, taking away Walsh's angle to try to cut her off.
Nyla Jean is from Tampa. One out of 2. 8.5 remaining. Nice dish. Tucker finishes.
And that time Carter, great decision, great recognition. Realized Grayson was back there by herself. Drove it directly at her. Forced her to play the ball. Easy dish for her to get it to Tucker there for the finish.
Interesting journey for Alicia Carter, just a freshman. She last year redshirted at UTC and then decided to hit the portal. Sieper for 3, got it.
That time great screen from Grayson that did not get called illegal that time. Sieper able to lift as Grayson rolled right into an open 3 ball.
Weathersby with the ketchup and mustard sneakers. And believe me, that's been that line was given to me. I'm not smart enough to take that.
Well, I think when you rebound as well as she does, you can wear whatever you like.
We're going to take a look at there. There's ketchup and mustard right there on her sneaks. UAB with a 63-50 lead with 7+ minutes remaining.
You got the tickets?
Vivid Seats, the only ticket company in the game that rewards you for buying. From concerts to sports and everything in between. Vivid Seats, official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Did you see this? Toys are going to be up to 50% off for Cyber Monday. Santa's going to need a bigger sleigh.
Yeah, I am. I mean, he is. That's not my car. I don't even know where I parked.
Get up to 50% off toys and more, only at Target.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I grew wiser. I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
TJ. JJ.
JJ. Lateral races. Brutal.
TJ. TJ.
It's time to play offense. Turn it up. Whoa, let's cool it, you two.
Mom.
Sophomore Jade Weathersby, 10-plus rebounds per game. She's got 10 so far. Grew up in Aurora, Colorado, but she finished high school in Atlanta. And we will see her fashion statement once the girls break up. There you go. And so mustard on the left, ketchup on the right.
Could you pull that off?
Absolutely not. And I asked her about it, and she said, why not? So she's got, you know, she had to buy two pair, red pair, yellow pair, and just split them up. Okay. Blazers by 13 here in the final quarter. It's not been easy. This is one reason why. That's Jean, now Sutton. Jean. She's pretty tough in the paint.
She's just able to slide by and through crevices that lots of players can't. And that speaks to her, of course, her athleticism and her quickness and her size, just taking advantage of what she has. See Grayson here picking up her fourth. And she turned to look and says, what did I do? What can I do out here that won't get called for a foul? And it's been a tough day for Grayson.
8 points. Got it.
6:50 left. It does not appear that Southern Miss is going to be able to get to 70. And so their scoring woes continue. But I think if you're Southern Miss, because like you mentioned, the style of play, the pace of play, personnel, you've got to figure out a way to, if you can't get to 70, you've got to really, really amp up the defense. You've got to really, really force teams into some tough shooting nights. And so far today, they have not been able to do that to the Blazers.
At the buzzer, Sutton, no second chance. And again, that's the difference when you go into a game for the UAB women. If they trail, they have the firepower to come back because they could shoot very well from the three. 12 threes today.
Right, and you can't run any one particular play off the three-point line because everyone shoots it so well, and everyone's looking for opportunities to penetrate and kick and get other players' shots. So you see the rejection there on the baseline.
Alicia Carter, by the way, has a career best 8. Sieper with the miss. Second chance draws a foul.
Along with Sieper and Jean and Grayson, you know, Southern Miss, they'll have some capable scorers. You know, all those players today, double digits from Seaper with 10, Jean 16 points. Obviously, Sutton's having a bit of a rough morning/afternoon.
Sutton comes up short.
Coach McNellis, you know, a freshman in 𝗀. You know, 𝗀 is Miss Kentucky in basketball as a senior. Scored over 2,000 points, over 1,000 assists, so she's a capable scorer as well. Of course, there's a learning curve for freshmen at every single turn. You know, it's very difficult to come in and duplicate what you do in high school right off the bat. So mid-season, once Conference C kicks in, I totally expect that she will be better suited offensively.
Well, Trinity 𝗀 averaging 6. Scored 8 against A&M, but just that 1 3-point bucket today. And I think what I've learned, Mo, in our games broadcasting over the last couple of years is that with the freshmen, they'll get their numbers, yes, but it's the consistency.
Right.
You're going to have your 8 to 10 to 12, but then you're going to have a clunker in there as well, right? You know a little bit about that?
Yeah, normal freshman. You know what? I had a little stretch as a freshman where I scored double digit in 3 straight games. And then it felt like a month before I was able to score double digits again.
That draws a foul.
That time Evans electing to, I guess, initiate contact, turn down an open shot to go take a contested one that time. And Evans is an interesting piece for Southern Miss as well because she's different than Grayson in terms of her offensive abilities and capabilities and her defensive ability. She's able to come out and guard on the perimeter as well as on the inside because she's strong and she's physical, but she's also very, very quick and athletic. Struggle at the line. You got to find a way to knock down free throws when you get those chances. Good pass.
Rain Tucker has 12. And again, like Mo said, the good pass. Tucker 6 for 8, by the way. Steele. Journey, Armstead. Carter for 3 down. Might have been deflected. Southern Miss, by the way, they play now in the Sun Belt. I'm used to seeing them in the Conference USA, but they're now in the Sun Belt with App State, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, South Al, Texas State. Walsh for 3. Got it!
He continues to pour it on. We've seen Southern Miss try to apply pressure to no avail. That time Armstead able to beat the pressure easily and kick out. We got these guys throwing out T-shirts over here.
That's the men's team. I don't know if we got a camera on it. Don't worry about it. But Axel Lindeborg and Chris Coleman throwing out T-shirts.
We're going to hope Andy Kennedy doesn't step through that tunnel and watch them out here celebrating and throwing T-shirts around.
That's all Andy needs to see is Lindeborg throwing a 87-mile-an-hour slider into the stands and his shoulder falls off. We'll take a timeout. UAB out in front big. 71-53 over the Lady Eagles. There is Yax and a couple of his teammates. They got Middle Tennessee coming up for the men later on today.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Did you see this? Toys are going to be up to 50% off for Cyber Monday. Santa's going to need a bigger sleigh.
Yeah, I am. I mean, he is. That's not my car. I don't even know where I parked.
Get up to 50% off toys and more, only at Target.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. This weekend only, get a free Whopper Jr. with a $1 purchase, only on the BK app.
When I was younger, my calling was to play football. But as I grew older, I grew wiser. I realized life isn't about how many people you can knock down. It's about how many people you can lift up. At Ram, our calling is to build game-changing trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
𝗿𝗲𝗱𝘆, the best flyweight in the world.
Asakura making his UFC debut.
We got two undefeated phenoms. Let's go.
What a night.
Kurt Bloom along with Mo Findlay, Madison Parham in the truck, or actually in the control room. They don't want me to say the truck because there is a truck coming for the ESPN2 game. So in the control room with the Bullfrog, Jeremiah Parrish, somewhere in this arena. Well, you said this early on, and you said it in the opening, that Southern Miss has gotten to 70 points just once. So if UAB does not score over the last 449, they would still have enough to beat the Southern Miss Lady Eagles, who are not going to get to 70. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You're right. That's the magic number. The higher the score, they got to play that 50 to 60 game. If the opponent is 70 or above, they're going to have trouble keeping up with their opponent.
Right, and you cannot score and win as long as you keep the other team from scoring. UAB
Right.
so far in the game shooting 51%, 48% from three, and that percentage is just going to go up now. That's the 14th made three for the Blazers today. You know, if you don't score, you got to just hold the other team to very, very, very few opportunities. You can't give up threes in transition and easy layups, and today Southern Miss has just not been able to do that.
What's impressive about this game so far, and it's got 4:16 remaining, is that this Southern Miss team is a team that has dominated UAB over their 70 previous games. The Lady Eagles beat the Blazers last year in the first round of the WNIT. And as well as UAB is shot, well, sometimes, Mo, you could say, oh, they probably did this against a D2 or a different conference opponent.
Right.
But this is a solid team in terms of Southern Miss. Their record doesn't show it. They're going to get better when conference play comes. But when you drop 74 against them, you held them to 50, and you got 14 threes, you got something to really be proud of, and you've had a heck of a game is what I'm trying to get at.
Right, and here's the thing. They've made 28 field goals, 24 assists on 28 field goals. So that speaks to how well UAB is sharing the basketball. It speaks to also their ability to score from different players. It's not one person. No one can be keyed in on. UAB's playing really, really, really complimentary basketball.
The Blazers beat West Al. They beat Alabama A&M. They beat Mississippi Valley State. They beat Alabama State. But this is an upper-level club here in Southern Miss, and this would go down as a fine signature early season win with under 4 minutes remaining. And again, if it gets done, Randy Norton will get his 200th career win here at UAB. Armstead, 1 for 2.
And as a coach, you love to see the hustle from both teams late in the ball game here, down 20, both teams all on the floor still fighting for every possession. And also, Lady Eagles, got to be tough doing it without the captain of your ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's no easy feat here. That coaching staff there today, they've done a great job of holding everything together. You got to know that I'm sure Coach McNellis is on their mind, in the hearts of each one member of their staff and these players as well. So to come and do what they've done today is a testament to their toughness.
In their 21st year, but again, did not make the trip. 21st year here, 500-plus career wins. 3-ball. Rowe, that's her second made basket, and they're both threes. We did the resume of Randy Norton, and Joy Lee McNellis, her 21st year here at Southern Miss, where she was a player. She was an assistant coach at both Southern Miss and Texas State. She has over 500 career wins. And she also spent 14 years as the head coach of Memphis, and she had some terrific teams led by Tamika Whitmore. And you're right. You're right. Imagine right now, just look across the court and take Randy Norton away for whatever it is.
Right, and it makes a difference. And every coach on the staff is there for a reason. Obviously, they have basketball expertise and knowledge, and they're more than capable. But there is a difference when you have to slide up one seat or so. There's a calming presence about the leader of your ship, the leader of your team. And players look to their coaches. Players are typically an extension of their coach. You try to take on the identity of your coach. And that's why we're seeing the fight that we're seeing today from this Southern Miss team. They're fighting, just as we mentioned earlier today about what coach is battling in her fight. These girls aren't going to lay down and quit just because they haven't been able to solve the problem today. And I love to see that as a former player, as a guy who just loves the game. I love to see teams continue to compete in spite of the score.
So Southern Miss being coached by Brooks Donald Williams. We had a shot of her. Barbara Ferris, Jessica Barber also on the bench. Morgan Sieper has had a nice game as a sophomore. 12 points. Ely. Weathersby, nice finish with the left. Don't know if she's got, well, she should have enough time if she stays on the court more to get that double-double. 8 points, 11 rebounds.
And I think she's done a really good job of not forcing anything offensively. She has, hasn't had her best scoring output today. She's missed a couple of threes, but she has not allowed that to affect the other facets of her game. She's still rebounded the basketball extremely well, defended extremely well.
And that's the growth. Look at this shot here with the left. That's the growth from a freshman to a sophomore. I think last year, those fouls and a missed shot would get her in trouble, and the rest of the game wouldn't be pushed along. But this year, a year later, she's hitting all the columns, all the cylinders.
And I've noticed just her demeanor, it has not changed. Her facial expression, even keeled the entire time. When she misses a shot, she's been hustling just the same. She doesn't get down on her, hasn't gotten down on herself. And as you mentioned, she'll still have an opportunity here. The Eagles, they're gonna continue to press, and UAB's gonna continue to attack. So Weathersby, she's gonna have a chance for her 10th point.
Tracy Bershears turns down a three. 2.5 remaining with 10 seconds to shoot. We'll see if Weathersby can get some position there. She is. She was pushed from behind. Ely. Oh, a three-pointer with 1 second to go.
Time Ely, shot clock winding down, off balance, fading into the UAB men's basketball team those guys that are present front row.
Look at Chris Coleman. Oh, Chris just handed it off. Actually, let me correct myself. I asked him he would prefer to be called Christian on the air. Just easier to say Chris.
Christian and the rest of the men's team in the front row seat of how it's done.
You know what, though, Mo? I like that a lot. These guys, I mean, these are the superstars for UAB. There it is, right there. Lindenborg and Coleman. These are the superstars, and they are supporting their teammates and their.
There's a certain bond that you form when you play collegiately, and you know, even if you're never at a track meet, if you're never at a team class, when you see your fellow athlete on campus. For the basketball players here, I'm sure most people probably know those guys, right? So, you know, when they look across the court and they see their counterparts out here giving it their all,
it means a lot.
It means a ton. And so, and again, every athlete on campus, when you walk by and you see the guy that plays baseball or a softball player, you know, I strongly encourage, you know, all athletes to be supportive of each other, even if you can't attend each other's games. You know, find a way to encourage and, you know, give a little head nod, show a sign of respect, because they're doing exactly what you're doing. They're sacrificing their time and they're utilizing their talents to the best of their ability. So that deserves respect. It deserves your support.
The guys have on their team, the guys here at UAB have on their team a guy by the name of Ryan Donahue. And Mo always tells me, he said, CB, that's the happiest guy on campus and the happiest guy in the city. But I tell you, if that is true, Axel Lindenborg is not far behind. We've known him for 2 years. There's been a smile on his face for 2 years. He handles everything. I like talking about him because he's an incredible person, and he gets the it factor. And here he is throwing T-shirts just like a normal student, like his mentor, Trey Jemison, did before him. Ketchup and mustard on the bench, I think. No chance for the double-double when you're on the bench. Meanwhile, Molly Moffitt backs her player in and then gets called for the offensive.
Time Seeper did a good job of taking the charge there. She could have easily given up a basket there. That time, no. With a minute 37 left in a game that you're down plenty. Still playing hard, still playing the right way.
By the way, Moffitt's Seattle Seahawks are playing CB's pathetic New York Jets. And that would be using it kindly and wisely. From the left, no good. UAB is going to go to 5-2. Their next game, Mo, will be at Auburn. Week from today, and then 2 weeks from today, you and I will be right back here against Alcorn State.
The Blazers, tough road game ahead. The Tigers knocked down another tough contested shot from the corner.
The three balls are raining here. 16 threes. I believe the record is 20 that they did last year against Tulane. That's the game in which Maddie Walsh had 8 threes.
And Neely there with another three in the other corner, right in front of her head coach and her teammates. If you're UAB, it's a great opportunity here to take a ton of confidence on the road down with you to Auburn.
Well, you'll need it. Auburn's
a very good team.
An SEC club that played very well here last year.
And you'll have to go in and you'll have to beat them. They're not going to go in and allow you to. They're not going to give it to you at Auburn for sure. But the confidence that you're seeing from these shooters here today is something that they can take with them into this week's practices and also into the game next week. And I'm sure Coach Norton has ran up against Southern Miss before, so a great day for him to get his 200 win against a really good team.
Yeah,
a really good opponent.
That's right. That's what we talked about. It's a quality club that beat them last year in the WNIT. More buckets, by the way, for Nyla Jean with 21 points this afternoon.
So they definitely have some pieces. They have some pieces. I fully expect to check back Sun Belt standings and see a much different team than we've seen here so far this afternoon. Good feed inside.
Molly Moffitt.
And both teams continuing to play. No one's trying to run the clock out. Teams are still running their sets, looking for inside. It's a great feed on the bounce pass there. Moffitt able to seal Sutton on her back and has a chance for the and one.
Last year, UAB set a career best by hitting 23s against Tulane. They've got 16 today. Maddie Walsh had 8 in that game. So this is one of the highest three-point shooting games in UAB history. And 8.8 seconds away from a win. I believe that we will have Randy Norton on the quick post game, and then after that, we got to make room for David Crane, Steve Smoothie Mitchell, and the radio crew. 22 for Nyla. No relation to Billie Jean. She is the one today.
Oh, yeah, for Southern Miss, no doubt.
23 in her column.
It could have easily been 30. She's had a couple of opportunities she wasn't able to capitalize on.
All right, that guy's 8.8 seconds away from a 200th career win, a milestone mark.
You got to love the relaxed dress code that coaches are able to experience. Now, you and I, we have to come in here every time.
All suited up.
Suited and booted every time we come in here, but the coaches are having a little fun with the Christmas sweaters.
It was ugly Christmas sweater day.
In about a couple of hours, I'm going to see my old head coach here, and I'm going to ask him, does he own a Christmas sweater? I guarantee you he does not own a Christmas sweater of any kind, ugly or nice.
One shot perhaps, and perhaps not. That should run it out. And the Blazers took control of this game in the second quarter.